Okay, so typically when I'm getting ready, as far as like doing my everyday makeup routine, I'm getting ready to head into work. So I usually try and keep it pretty basic, and I always start out with my foundation or my base. That way, if I do run out of time, like I can tend to sometimes, I don't have to wear eyeshadow and everything else is done and I still look put together. So the very first thing that we're going to start out with is primer. What I use is, or what I'm currently using is the Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. I have several different primers that I do really enjoy, but because I own quite a bit of makeup, because I enjoy it so much, I do have to change it up pretty often. So this is the one that I'm using currently. I really do love it. It's almost completely empty, as you can see, but basically this really helps to clear or to fill in my pores. So I'm going to apply it right in this area where my pores are the worst. So it's going to be like underneath my eyes. Don't get too close to your eyes though, because this can clog your pores. Sorry, I just rub it in right in here. And then also I get pores really bad on my chin and on my forehead. So those are the two spots that or the three spots, excuse me, that I do like to put this product. Make sure it's rubbed in pretty well, because if you don't, you are going to see a white cast, which isn't a good look. Okay, so after we put that on, what we're going to do next is go in with foundation. Like I said, I do really enjoy makeup. I collect a lot of it. I buy a lot of it. So I do change it up pretty often. Sometimes if I really do like a product though, I tend to stick with it, and this is one of those. So this is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Fit Foundation. Everybody's been talking about this, and it's for a reason. It's because it's really, really good. My skin type, see, got a little bit of a white cast right there. My skin type tends to be pretty oily, so I do need something that's gonna last all day, because I have a normal job just like everybody else, and so I do have to have something that's gonna last all day. I interact with customers very often, so I also need something that's going to look really good, and this foundation is perfect. It applies really well both with the brush and with the sponge. I usually use a sponge just because I like the finish that it gives better. So I pump it out on this little palette, which is really dirty, sorry, and then I dip my sponge into it, and I'm going to pounce it all over my face, just like this. Honestly, scrubbed most of it off. So this may be a little bit darker than my neck, but that's okay, because we're probably base first, because I'm going to apply my foundation literally all over my face. That way, if I am running really late, or let's say I'm like jamming out some music or sipping some coffee and I get distracted by time, I already have my base done. That way, if I really, really have run out of time, eyeshadow isn't the thing that I'm the most worried about putting on. Now, if I'm going somewhere and I need to get like full glam, then I'll make sure to give myself time. Which if you guys want to see like a full glam tutorial, please let me know. I would be happy to do that. I'm obsessed with getting full glam, but it's just not practical as far as every day goes. Now, sometimes if I do have time before I go into work, I will get full glam just because I can, but not very often. Okay. So this is what the foundation looks like now that it's on. You can still kind of see, but it's texture on your skin. You're still gonna see it. The main thing I'm worried about is that it covers up the redness. It looks really pretty. I have these really big lines on my forehead. Foundation always settles into them really bad. So if it does, I'm not gonna be worried about it. But okay, that's what it looks like. Now we're going to move on to concealer. The concealer that I'm trying to use up right now is this Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I have it in this shade Fair Neutral. This is honestly really, really light, which usually I prefer because I do like my under eyes to be highlighted, because I think it makes my face look brighter. But for some reason, this concealer does tend to oxidize on me. It starts to look darker than what it does when I first apply it, which I don't love that, and I don't know, I just have so many concealers that I like more than this. That was completely crooked. Oh well. So at this point, I don't have very much left of it. I'm just really trying to use it up. I bought it when Ulta had it on sale because I have no self-control as far as sales go. So I applied that underneath my eyes in a diagonal shape, just in case the foundation didn't cover any redness I had down here. My chin, the upper lip, excuse me, my nose, and my forehead to cover up anything and to bring brightness to my face. So using my same beauty blender, I'm gonna blend that in. You make the cutest faces when you do this. I usually do try and make like the weirdest faces that I can when I am doing this to make sure that every single like crevice of my face, the foundation and the concealer is blended into. The other thing you want to do, like I go like this specifically, because you see how that foundation hasn't set on there? You want to get right up in your nose, because that just looks like you can just tell that you're wearing foundation if you don't do that. Okay, still blending. I do think that like editing and stuff saves time as far as like this process. Like I understand why everybody edits it down. But I also do enjoy seeing this done in real time, because when you watch a YouTube video that's 20 minutes long and it's someone doing like an everyday makeup routine, I feel like most of the time it's not practical, because I enjoy wearing like an almost full beat face every day, and it takes me more than 20 minutes. Could I get it done in 20 minutes? Like if I really tried to, I probably could, but my makeup routine is something that I do really enjoy doing every morning. So I like to be able to have, like, I just like doing it. It's relaxing for me. Okay, so I'm going to dump some of this powder out first before I make a mess. Sometimes, too, what I also enjoy doing is going in with a cream bronzer. This one's a little bougie, as my family so loves to call me. It's the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel bronzer. I think it's right around 50 bucks, but you get so much product in this. I did receive this as a Christmas gift, and I've been using it consistently since then. I barely made a dent in it. I do have really oily skin, so I don't do this all the time, but this is like a cream to powder finish. So when I use it, it almost lasts longer, so that like the powder and like just the two in conjunction last really long on my skin. So I'm going to take this Sonia Kashuk angled contour brush. They sell this at Target. I love the shape of it for cream contour. It's very dirty, as you can tell, but this is perfect. You just dip it into the product itself, and then I'm going to stamp it where I normally would put like powder bronzer. So I have a big forehead. I like contouring my forehead. I'm going to put it on this side and then a little bit right around my hairline. You want to make sure you drag the bronzer back into your hairline, because if you don't, it's going to look really unnatural. And the stuff, it isn't too pigmented, which I actually prefer, so I can build it up really easily. But you can see like it gives this really natural, like you can see that shadow on my forehead. Looks really natural. So I'm going to do the same thing for my cheeks, swirl it in here, pack a little bit more product on, because I'm going to need more for my cheeks. And what I do is, because of this brush is designed this way, you can literally stamp it right where you want to contour. So typically with contouring, which like I said, if you want to know more about that, leave me a comment down below and I can make a dedicated video. Contouring usually looks crazy when you first do it. This is what I like to do. I like to round my contour out a little bit, because if I feel like if I just go straight down a line, this looks too harsh, and then I just don't like how it looks. So I round it out, because I also want to curve this, because I have like a very long and narrow face, and I have no, like, unless I smile, I have no like plumpness in my cheeks, if that makes sense. So I like to create that. So we're going to mark that out with the brush on both sides. The other thing you will have to worry about as far as your contour goes is that if you drag it too far down, it's going to drag your cheekbones down and not make them look high up like you're trying to make them. It's the whole point of a contour. For most people, that's the whole point of a contour, is to make their cheekbones stand out. You know, where you place your contour is really going to be depending on your face type and what you want to change your face to, like how you want to alter your face shape. This is what I like to do because I like my cheekbones to be more prominent, but it just depends on what you like. Typically, this is what everybody, like when most people say contour, this is what they mean, but everybody's face isn't the same, so you can't do the same thing for everybody. Another thing I like to do is put this right in this little divot where my chin is, and then blend it out. More so because I like how it looks. I don't like having just bronzer here and nowhere else. I feel like it looks kind of weird, and also I feel like this kind of makes my bottom lip look a little bit fuller. If I really want to get really precise, I have more time, I'll even get it closer to my lip. Most of the time though, I don't have time. Last thing we're going to do is take this and put this right underneath my nose. And then I'm going to drag whatever's left over and stamp it like this on the outside of my nose. And then it looks a little crazy right now. The sun's kind of washing it out. But if you blend it out, which I use my trusty old beauty blender for this, it looks a little bit better. Well, it looks better, not just a little bit. Okay, so now that's all the cream products that we're gonna use. So the next thing that we gotta do is powder. Powder is key for me because of how oily my skin is. Not everybody can use as much powder as I'm going to because not everybody has oily skin like me, or not everybody's skin reacts well to as much powder as I use like my skin does. So we're gonna blend out these creases that may have came underneath our eyes, on our eyelids. Just make sure everything's blended out because it's going to be hard to blend it out once you put powder. Okay, and then we're going to go in with powder. So powder I'm going to be using today is going to be the Makeup Revolution Luxury Baking Powder in Lace. Casey Holmes mentioned this in her video. I went out and bought it the same day because I love her. I'm obsessed with her, and this is such a good powder. It can get kind of heavy if you're not careful. My skin, for whatever reason, sometimes just tends to eat powder up, like it just disappears. So I don't have that problem, but some people will. So for that, you want to start with a little bit and then go in with more as you go. You don't want to just cake it on. But as you do your makeup more, you're going to find out what you can and can't do, really, as far as your skin goes. So what I do is I put some of that powder on my palette, my gross palette, put some on my sponge, and I'm going to go right underneath my eyes. And press it in. I'm not pushing in a lot just because I feel like I don't need to. I'm going to go right underneath my eyes and lay that powder down, just like that. And I'm going to leave it there and let it sit. So we're going to do the same thing for the other side. First, I'm going to blend out my creases. If you can, the best thing to do after you blend your creases out while you're applying powder is to look up. That way it prevents any more creases from happening. I'm kind of using my camera as a mirror. So I'm trying to, I can't look up right now. So the biggest place that I get oily is right in my T-zone, which is like right here, well, there. And I also, like, foundation just tends to wear off right in this area really bad for me too, so that's usually where I apply the most powder. And if I don't set my under eye concealer, I get a lot of creases, which naturally, I just have a lot of lines underneath my eyes, just like my forehead. I move my face around a lot, as you can tell, so I get creases really easily. The other place that gets really oily is my nose. So we're going to take the powder, same thing on the Beauty Blender, and go straight, well, try and go as straight as you can down the center of your nose. Obviously, I'm not good at going straight down, and powder's flowing everywhere, but it's okay. And then I'm going to bring it up onto my forehead in the middle, too. Okay, this also, if you use a powder that's a little bit lighter than your skin, which I usually try to do, helps with the contouring, because we've already added this dark part on the nose where I want to hide the parts of my nose, so we're going to apply a white powder to bring out the parts that I do. Another thing you can use this powder for, let's say like my bronzer may have gotten a little crazy down here, but I need to clean it up. Use this powder to go right underneath where you wanted that contour to go to help clean it up. And I know that this video is going to be really long, but I really want my videos to be something that you guys can learn something from. I really want to explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. Oh my gosh, there's powder everywhere. So, you know, if you have the time to watch my videos, I really appreciate it. I really do hope that you learn something from me as far as these videos go. I have been thinking about making a website where you can email me with questions as far as makeup goes, and I can either record a video for you regarding your question and send it to you, or we could like FaceTime or Skype and I could walk you through it, which I think would be really helpful, because like I said, not everybody's face type is the same. So me doing my makeup routine and what I do isn't going to work for everybody else. There may be like some basics that make sense, but you know, if your face is more round, or your face has more of like just like a different shape, the same stuff isn't going to work for you like it does for me. Okay, sorry, I'm cleaning up all of the powder that I got everywhere and maybe dropping a few stuff. Okay, so we're going to let this sit here for a little bit, just because like I said, I'm oily, so I want it to sit there to sink in so that my makeup will last all day. Next thing we're going to move on to is brows. Where did I put my brow stuff? So to be quite honest with you, brows are one of the things that I struggle the most with. I can never find a shape that I like. I try and save money by doing my brows myself, but when I do that, they tend to look two different shapes. I spend too much time on them. This is probably the part of my makeup routine that honestly takes the longest. So let's see if I can zoom you guys in. No? Okay. That's fine. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with this brow. First thing I do is brush out my brow. I can't just do like brow gel or something, because it doesn't look good. It just doesn't. So yeah. So we're the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil in the shade 3. This is the first time. I've only been using this for a few times. The point of this, I can't decide yet if I love it or if I hate it. So yeah. I'll let you guys know if I can do like an updated, I guess, mini review on this to let you guys know what I end up thinking about it. I have purchased several new, I'm going to use my mirror over here for this, new makeup products that I would be more than happy to do like a first impression for you guys on. Let's see, I bought the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. That Urban Decay brow blade that has like the pencil on one side and it's like a marker on the other. I did try that and I am I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I'm using it wrong or what, but it made my brows look like patchy almost. It's hard to explain. I'll have to show you guys in a video, but okay, so basically what I try and do is just follow like the natural shape of my brow. I don't really want, like I said, this is just like an everyday, I'm going to work, so I don't need like a full on brow, you know? I don't need anything that's like extreme. So we're gonna brush these out. I do find with this tip that my brows aren't as thick as I want them to be. I just need to start going to someone to do my brows for me when they need to be shaped, to be quite honest with you, because clearly it's not going well for me. But I find that this tip is almost too big. It like fills in too much of an area than I want it to. And then I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan. Now, I don't think, I have had several people tell me that my brows do look good, given the fact that I do them myself. If you guys really want to see what I do as far as doing my own brows, I can. I just wax them myself at home. I've waxed my sister's brows for her before. I've done my husband's, I've waxed his unibrow. But yeah, if it's really something you guys are interested in, let me know. By no means do I have like any training as far as any of that goes. That's why sometimes they tend to look a little crazy, but I still anything fancy. So what we're gonna do next is wipe away all this powder. This is the Japanese 722 brush. It's slanted, it's super fluffy, probably already has powder in it, but this is really good for dusting away powder. So we're just gonna go on here. I feel like it's funny because when you do your own makeup, you don't realize how tough you are on, like, how rough you are with your own face. I did my sister's makeup for prom, and I guess I was like being a little bit aggressive, and she had to be like, okay, like, Brittany, you're doing someone else's makeup, this isn't gonna work. I'm like, sorry, sis. Okay, so once all that powder is buffed away, you can see how it cleaned up right here, where that contour was, or where that, you know what I'm trying to say, where that contour wasn't, or we didn't want that contour to be, and it set everybody in place. So I'm looking really matte right now, which I don't mind. I don't care to look really matte. There's still not really a lot of dimension in my face, just because that bronzer is so subtle, just because that bronzer is so subtle. So we're gonna add more. So since everything is done as far as cream goes, we powdered. Next, it's time to move on to like complexion powder products. So another product that I have here is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in Sun-Kissed Bronzer. There's powder on top of it. This is a beautiful bronzer. I really love even the original one. There's a lot of different products they have in that line that I'm obsessed with, and it freaking smells amazing. Everybody talks about it for a reason, because it's that good. I'm going to use my Fenty bronzer brush and 195. I love the shape of this brush just because it's not too big, so I can get as precise with it as I want to. And I'm literally going to take this and go in the exact same places that I went in with my Chanel bronzer. So, forehead, right here at the very top. We're going to go on longer cheekbones, and this is when I like to dip the brush in at the very tip, because I want it to be precise. I don't really want bronzer to be all over. So I'm going to use this brush, line it up, and just blend, really. Apply this bronzer. And when you're applying bronzer, you want to make sure that you're blending up. You don't want to blend down, because if you blend down, that's just going to drag back down right into where we put that powder. And it's going to get rid of the fact that we even contoured. So we're going to apply a bronzer. It does help a little bit if you make really weird facial expressions. Now I'm really into the whole like sun-kissed, like I like to look bronzed. A bronzy, glowy face makeup, eye makeup is my go-to. So I typically do go with bronzers where the color, some would say, probably isn't the best for me. I like them to just look like I like to look like I was just kissed by the sun, as some would say. Not everybody does. Now, if you're, like I said, full glam, I probably would do something a little bit different. But I'm going to work, and I just want to look put together, so this is what I'm going to do. So I apply it in all the same places. Sides of the nose, tip, lip. Usually when I hit these places, I don't dip back into my bronzer, because then it would just be too much. Okay, that's our bronzer. Next, I'm going to go on with this Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. This is another cult favorite for a reason. I think they did change the formula. I haven't tried the new formula because I've owned this blush for like 3 years, so I don't know if it's any different. This blush is stunning. It's like an orange coral, not really coral, more orange, like a peachy color. It has a little bit of shimmer in it. So pretty. Such a pretty blush. Okay, so we're gonna take the Morphe R4. It's an angled blush brush. Dip into this. This blush is also super powdery. So, tap that off. And then I'm going to stamp it on my cheeks. So, typically when I'm applying blush, I kind of like to smile. And then drag it back. Like that. This does kind of blend in with my bronzer, which I actually really like because I feel like it looks more natural. There's literally powder everywhere. Do you see all of that? So we're gonna keep doing that. Blush used to be something that I didn't care if I did or didn't wear. I would sometimes just wear bronzer and highlighter and then be done. Learn from my mistakes. Now I cannot not wear blush. Okay. Next thing we're gonna go into is the Makeup Geek duochrome highlighter and lit. Most of the time I don't wear a very intense highlighter to work just because it's work, and I don't know, like I just feel like there's a time and a place for a really intense highlighter, but this one can look really pretty if you shear it out. So for this, I'm going to take this Morphe brush. It's gross, there's foundation all over it, I'm sorry. This came in a set, so there's no actual name of the Morphe brush, but it's slanted, which is cool, good. But I love this for highlighting. So we're going to dip into the highlighter. First thing I hit with my highlighter is my Cupid's bow. I'm going to highlight there. You see all this powder? It's crazy. Now I know why my desk gets so dirty. Okay, so Cupid's bow, you see how that just brings light? And in person, it's definitely highlighted, but it's not like shimmery, glittery. I mean, it's shimmery, but it's not like intense, you know? Okay, gonna dip back in, and this time we're gonna go on the cheekbones. So this part I'm very careful with just because I have oily skin and I have acne prone skin, so I tend to get a lot of texture and I don't want to highlight that texture. So I have to be very careful when I'm applying highlighter that I'm not going crazy, or else it'll look like you'll just be able to see all my bugs. Okay, next side. There we go. See how I just feel like it doesn't look, well, it is pretty shimmery. Oh well. I put a little bit on my chin, and I do go a little bit down my nose just because I like to be glowy. I just don't want it to be shiny, and I hit my forehead. I just do like a quick dusting over it, and that's all I do. I don't do anything else. Blend everything together. I think Matt's home dogs are gonna might be going crazy here in a second. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. You know, not anything crazy. I haven't done any eyeshadow. I have no mascara on. Still good though, as far as like an everyday makeup tutorial or like an everyday makeup routine, tutorial routine, whatever. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is spray some makeup spray, or what's the word? Setting spray. Next thing we're gonna do is spray some setting spray. This is the Ofra Makeup Fixer. I believe this is rose scented. It's like limited edition, and that's why I bought it, is because it was rose scented, and I'm obsessed with anything that smells like rose. I always spray this before I put on my mascara and before I put on my eyebrow gel, because if I'm not careful, because if I'm not careful and I spray this too soon after putting on my mascara, this runs everywhere, or my mascara runs everywhere. So we're gonna spray this. And I'm gonna look super dewy, but if you're bougie, Jaclyn Hill taught me this on Amazon, like $13. Get this. If you're in a hurry, this is gonna be good because you can dry your face without having to wait for it to dry on your own. Just turn it on, let your face dry. It kind of takes your breath away a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. It makes me feel like I can't breathe. but it makes me look super glowy, I think. Oh gosh, oh well. Okay, with eyebrow gel. Where is my eyebrow gel? Oh, over here. Oh, that's not my eyebrow gel, it's a eyeshadow primer. Okay, eyebrow gel is gonna be the Tarte Busy Gal Brows. Love this stuff. The wand on it is so little. I don't know if you can see that. See how little that is? Perfect if you have almost no brows. Just gonna comb this through. Adds a little bit of color. Perfect. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is mascara. This video is already recording at 32 minutes long, so cool. Mascara I absolutely adore and love right now is the Benefit Bad Gal Bang mascara. My lashes aren't bad, but my lashes also aren't great. I do prefer a mascara that's volumizing. I don't really care too much about length, to be honest with you. I'd rather them be curled and lifted than to be long. So we're gonna go ahead and apply this. Use my little mirror. Most of the time I just wear mascara. Like the cutest faces when you put mascara on your lower lash line. Just makeup in general, you make the cutest faces, I'm telling you, when you're applying it. Okay, and to be honest, this is probably gonna sound crazy, but you know how you smudge, like, I always get mascara underneath my lower lash line. 9 times out of 10, I leave that there because I just feel like from far away, maybe this is all in my head, but from far away, I feel like it almost makes my lashes look fuller on my lower lash line. Now, if you get up close, you're like, oh, she can't apply mascara. She just smudges it everywhere. And that's not a lie. I do smudge it everywhere. But, you know, this is just the reality of it. Okay. Mascara is pretty much done. If I have time, then I just keep applying coats of it, you know. But like I said, this video is at 35 minutes and it's like an everyday makeup routine. It shouldn't be that long. Okay, now last thing we're gonna do is lips. Obsessed with the Colourpop lip liners. Any color you like, all the colors. I wish I could own all of them. I already have too many lip liners, so that's not an option. But I'm gonna go in with the Colourpop Iluvsarahii lip pencil. Sorry. And 951. And line my lips. I'm not the best at this either. You know, everybody has things they're not good at as far as makeup goes. So we're gonna snort and stuff while I'm doing this. I have a little pug, Georgie, and the kind of noises that the dog makes, I can't even. He's right by my feet right now, so he knows. He knows. See what I said about not being the best at this? You know what? Oh well. This isn't my best lip lining work, I'll be quite honest with you. I look a little cray right now. That's okay. Oh well. Okay. Next thing we're gonna go in with is MAC Blankety. Little dabble, do ya? Sorry, someone was just walking by my house. Ready? It's just my personal thing. I'm usually not too worried about my lips because throughout my workday, I don't have time to go into a bathroom and to reapply most of the time. So as long, like, I'll put it on when I first leave, but if it's not gonna hold up, if it doesn't look great, like, I'm not too worried about it. Honestly. Okay, next thing we're gonna go in with the glosses, and this is the Morphe Flower Crown gloss. I've used this once. I don't really know how I feel about it. Doesn't sound like anything. It feels gritty, but there's no glitter in it. At least it doesn't look like there is. Doesn't look like there's glitter in it. It's really pretty on. Strange. Okay. Alright guys, that's going to be the finished look. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Like I said, make sure to like if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to my channel. Leave me some comments down below about what you like. You know, I'm just an ordinary girl who's obsessed with makeup and really just wants to help anyone else out. YouTube really did save me as far as makeup goes. It's just something that I'm really passionate about. Makeup, that is. YouTube. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.